Hi teammates, thank you guys so much for watching. To the people who haven't seen my last video because of the title, maybe they weren't interested. Either way, I had a massive computer crash, so I wasn't able to get to everybody's comments and all this kind of stuff. I appreciate everyone. I love the subscribers. I love you guys. I love you guys so much. I'm sorry that I haven't been able to get to you, first-time viewers, and thank you so much for tuning in. But I just want to tell everybody, like to my subscribers specifically, I'm sorry. I had a big computer crash, so everything's back up and running. It's going to take me a couple days to get to everybody's things, so I just don't want people to think I'm not, that I'm ignoring them or nothing like that. It has nothing to do with that. It's just, I'm sorry. So, anyway, so if we can get to this. Americans are declared the enemy, and here we go. Here's proof of how it is. And you know what? Yeah, I was going to get into how people might say that we're not. Okay, the Illuminati are subtle. Martial law has been subtly imposed on the entire country. So for the people who have the eyes that see and the ears that hear, here we go. Just so you can see right here. And argue with me all you want, please.
Convention in Florida just days away now. The city of Tampa is bracing itself for a possible hurricane and protests. Occupy Tampa protesters are descending upon the city. They plan to charter in busloads of people, and it looks like the city is taking every possible precaution, from clearing hundreds of jail beds to drones patrolling the skies. It looks like protesters will remain on
drones patrolling the skies.
What occupiers have in store for the RNC and DNC. Jared Hamill, spokesperson for Coalition to March on RNC, joins us now. Welcome, Jared. So first off, want to get your reaction to this very heavy-handed security we're seeing over there in Tampa.
Well, it looks like a police. We have helicopters flying overhead at all times of the day. We have the city's police department who's purchased a tank and parades it around the city. Meanwhile, all we're having on Monday is a peaceful permanent march with 5,000 protesters.
And I just saw today reports that for the first time ever, a drone will patrol the skies and monitor what's going on the ground surrounding the convention. What do you think about that?
Well, I think it goes back to what I was talking about before. Basically, we're just raising our voice. We have demands. We're demanding good jobs, healthcare, affordable education, equality, and peace. And with that, the city, the state, the police are gearing up for war. They're the ones who are using drones. Drones are only meant to used for surveillance and the wars overseas. And all we're doing is having a protest. We're gathering thousands of people together to say no to an agenda of poverty, war, and hate. And the police what they're doing is they're trying to stifle our movement.
Part of what is instigating this fear.
Okay, so for the people who don't think that's a big deal, so we can't even protest now without drones in the sky, a military tank, all sorts of militarization of the police, right? We're just trying to protest, but now all of a sudden we have things, and look it up. Drones are used for terrorists. That's what they were supposedly designed for, and now they're being used against protesters. Wow, amazing. That's pretty weird. I thought the drones were only used for terrorists, but now they're used for the protesters, and they have big military tanks, so you can't even go and protest without having an entire militarization of the police? Really? So that's how... It's ridiculous. What happened to freedom of assembly? Here's something else. How about this? You see this? You see the apology? There is no apology. In that Empire State Building shooting, the cops shot 9 people and there's no apology. We're working towards a police state. You don't see the military. And I did a search. I did 1,000 searches. Not 1,000, but I did a bunch of searches. There was no apology from the NYPD for shooting other people during the Empire State Building gunman kind of thing. How about this? Between 2000 and 2010, median middle class wealth dropped 28% from 130,000 to 93,000 lower. Real estate values played a big part. About 42% said their financial situation is worse now than before the Great Recession. What recession? Wow, that's a bunch of ridiculousness. How about this? How about the 160, this is from 4, I'll put all this below. 165 million Americans are dependent on the state. It's tyranny next. Here's what they're doing, people, okay? They're putting you in a situation to where you're going to be pissed off. And then the government, all they're going to do is just, and that's what they're doing down in Tampa, Florida with this whole convention. Look, we know situations are bad. They put you there. We know that unemployment is high. We know that government spending is high. We know there are more wars overseas that we just keep involving ourselves in. We know that that is being more and more common, and not only that, we just keep adding it on. We know all these situations that you're putting us in. That we're putting ourselves in, but you, the taxpayer, you're at fault for it. We have to, how else are we going to do all these stuff? So all they're doing is provoking and provoking and provoking. They're making it to where, hey, these protesters, look, we understand that we're creating these awful conditions. We understand that we're taking the wealth from the people and using it for the powers that be, the elite, that we're using it for our own agenda. And look what's going to happen. You're the one at fault because you're the ones who want to start spitting on cops, punching cops, crapping on cop cars, throwing Molotov cocktails. Look, the government's going to say we're just defending ourselves. So protesters, veterans, anyone who has a gun, period, is a terrorist because look, yes, we did create this situation, but you are the ones who are forcing yourselves upon us. Isn't that amazing how it works? They're brilliant. They know exactly what they're doing because they know you're going to be mad about how you lost your job. They're going to be mad about how the currency that you hold has devalued, but everything that you need has inflated. They know you're mad, and they know they'll just keep poking and prodding at you until you start trying to hit them, and they'll say, look, we have drones in the skies. We have a militarization of the police. We have tanks and this and that because you are the enemy. Americans have been declared the enemy. Anybody wants to dispute that? That's ridiculous, but I'll listen. So I just want to let you know it's been declared. Martial law has been imposed. Small, and then more and more and more, and then it's going to be everywhere. Are you going to sit there and tell me to seriously... Look, I live in the Midwest. I live in Illinois. I've never seen tanks come from Maryland in my life. Tanks come from Maryland to learn how to drive on the city streets of St. Louis, and they're just doing that because of driver's ed. Are you going to sit there and tell me, people that live in Maryland, there are no streets to drive on Maryland? Are you going to tell me that there are no streets to drive and do military driver's ed in Maryland? They had to come all the way to St. Louis. They had to come all the way to St. Louis to learn how to drive city tanks and Hummers. You know, are you serious right now? Are you serious? Let's just keep burying our heads in the sand and let's just keep doing that. Really. So, thank you guys for watching. I apologize for the late response to everything. I had a major computer crash. I'm sorry. I did. I apologize. I will get to everybody's comments. Thank you so much for watching. I love you guys. Just don't give up. Look, I'll have another video out real soon on how you can tell everybody to show it up their you know what. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it. Goodbye.